This message focuses on 2026 World Governments Summit, which took place in Dubai, the United Arab Emirates, from February 3rd to 5th. And I would like to address all the governments, the international organizations, thought leaders, and the private sector leaders who were able to attend or who were present during the 2026 summit in Dubai. And I am speaking on behalf of all the people of Tanganyika, or if you like, the Tanzania mainland. And I would like to begin by saying that we are all, the people of Tanganyika, very, very disappointed to see that during this World Governments Summit 2026 in Dubai, the mentioned leaders of various governments, international organizations, thought leaders, and private sector leaders, you were seated together with a criminal, a president who is a criminal, a president who conducted a massive killing of her own people in Tanganyika. And this is president, illegitimate president, undemocratic elected president, Samia Suluhu Hassan. She was among you, the guests, during this World Governments Summit 2026 in Dubai. And we want to express our sadness, our anger, our disappointment to see that such a leader who committed genocide of our own people can have a seat among our respected leaders of other nations. And no one ever condemns and rebukes this specific criminal who were seated among you. And she could find a seat among you. And you were so silent and quiet, and you were having fun on the table. You are having dinner together. This is so embarrassing. This is such a shameful thing to see that it can happen among world leaders, where you can come together with a criminal, someone who is a very good member of, or candidate, if you like, a very good candidate of the ICC. But yes, she's seated there, and you're having fun with her. You are talking about, you're promoting your agendas. You're focusing on investing in Tanganyika or in Tanzania, when you know for sure there was a genocide committed on October 29th, 2025. There was a genocide in Tanzania. Here you are seated with this illegitimate president, Samia Suluhu Hassan. She was allowed to attend. We were expecting the ICC to apprehend, to get hold of her and bring her to justice. And all the other leaders in Tanzania, because you know the election that took place on October 29, 2025, it was undemocratic. It was illegitimate election because, as you know, this criminal Samia Suluhu Hassan proclaimed herself to be the winner, winning by 98% of all the votes, implying that even the opposition leaders or the opposition people or Tanzanian people, all the Tanganyika people from opposition parties, they elected her, which was not true, because we know no one. Oh, this election was so abusive because there are so many bad things taking place. There were a kidnapping. We know the leader of the opposition party in Tanzania is in jail, and he was taken to prison before the campaign. We know so many people who stood up and spoke against the evil of the government, or the abuse of the government. They were all kidnapped, they were tortured, and many of them were murdered. And this lady, this woman, is seated among you. And no one ever brought up this to her and asked her vividly, face to face, and asked her that you know there is a genocide that took place in Tanganyika, or if you like, Tanzania mainland. And what does she say about the genocide? You guys were conducting interview with her, and you were asking her what they have done to improve the infrastructure, like roads, railways, and maybe, I don't know, and there's so many other things about the laws, how they have how have they changed the laws to make sure it's good for people who would like to come and invest in Tanzania. And we are saying, and I am speaking on behalf of the people of Tanganyika, and I am saying this, that at this point in time, we do not need anyone to come and invest into our country, because we know there was a genocide, and the illegitimate government has denied to acknowledge that they have killed thousands and thousands. It is believed that it is not less than 10,000 Tanganyika people who have been murdered on that day. And I know you guys have never ever spoken about these things. And no one ever expressed concern about how can you come to invest in a country where there was a genocide? How can you come to invest in a country where its own citizens are not allowed to criticize the government? How can you come to invest in a country where the government, or the government leaders, or those who are in authority, they are just grabbing all their money, all kinds of investments that comes into the country, and they are just using those money for their own benefit? How can you ever come in that country? How can you ever come in a country where people have no right to speak? How can you come in a country where there is no democracy? How can you ever come to invest in a country where there is torture, there is a forced disappearances, and the government never say anything about this kind of forced disappearances that are taking place in Tanzania? So we were so ashamed of you, all the leaders, all the government leaders, all the international organizations that were there, all the thought leaders who attended the World Government Summit 2026 in Dubai. We are so disappointed. And for those of you who are from private sector leaders, we are so ashamed of you. And you should be ashamed of yourselves. Shame on you. You also look like criminals. That is how we see you. Anybody who is thinking about you coming to invest in Tanzania, you must consider yourself as a criminal, because you are joining a criminal network of CCM party. Because it's the same party is a criminal, is a criminal network, is a gang, because they are doing money laundering in the country. You know, they have all the USA dollars, and they have all the money, all the riches. They are using all the natural resources in the country to benefit themselves. You should do research and analyze how poverty, how much poverty is in the nation, is in the country. People are suffering. Tanzanians are suffering. Though they have massive natural resources in the country, but they do not benefit from those things. And I have heard that when you are conducting the interview with Samia, I was so angry to see that she is on a podium while the entire world can listen to her, trying to sell her criminal agenda, promoting her criminal agendas. She committed murder when we're talking about mass killing of people in Tanganyika. And now you give her an opportunity on the podium in front of you, and you are listening attentively, and you are listening creatively. How can that be possible? You think she's so creative? That is not true. All she can do is killing her own people, her own citizens. When they protest, they abuse their constitutional rights to protest when things are not being done according to the Constitution. When there is injustice, and that is why we are also appealing to all of the international organizations who are fighting for liberty, for dignity, for human rights, for equality, for democracy, who are fighting to ensure that our governments can be held accountable and responsible for the abuse of human rights, to help us to raise up our voices so that we can be heard everywhere, every corner. Because seeing such a leader, a criminal like this, to attend such great event where we have leaders of all kinds, very respected people, but at this point for us, people of Tanganyika, we have no respect for you whatsoever, because you are sitting together with a criminal, somebody who just committed genocide. And nobody ever expressed concern about these things. You are having debates about democracy, but there was a criminal among you. A criminal, someone who killed. We are talking about thousands and thousands of people of Tanganyika. She was seated there. That is such a shame. And then you put her on the podium. You are conducting interview. You gentlemen who was running or conducting that interview, you should be ashamed of yourself, discussing and talking about development, and you are applauding her, and you are trying to impress the listeners that Tanzania has been receiving a massive investment from the United Arab Emirates. And these are the criminal too. The United Arab Emirates. They should know that they are criminals. If they are heavily invested in Tanzania, and we are seeing genocide taking place, and they still keep their investment in Tanganyika, we consider them as criminals. Because all we need at this point is not investments of any kind. We do not need anybody to come and invest in this country. All we need, we are crying for justice. We are crying for our constitutional rights. We are crying for equality. We are crying for democracy. We are crying we need a new constitution that ensures that Tanzania is not being run by one single entity, the same party. That this country is being belongs to the people of Tanganyika, or the people of Zanzibar, not the same party, or just a gang, a group of gangs, a group of, or a network of gangs, gang members from the system. These are the ones who are misusing all the investments, all the money that the European Union have been sending as aids to our country, to help in developing the country, or to improve the infrastructure in the country, whether it's a school, hospitals. All those money have been going into the pockets of the network of gangs of CCM leaders. They know this. We have, we the people of Tanganyika, have been suffering. Now it has been 49 years. You come see our roads. You go see our hospitals. You come see the schools. When you send those aids, what do, they just go and take a picture maybe of one school, and then they say, okay, look how we are improving. Maybe sometimes they even go to those private schools, which is not even public schools. That is why it is very, very sad to see that you guys were sitting together with a criminal, and you were applauding the criminal to win the election. Because what has happened, you sitting together with a leader who just murdered thousands and thousands of his or her own citizens. What you have done is this: you have legitimized such criminal. That is what it is. That is what we understand with the people of Tanganyika. This is what we see. This is our point of view. Because we were expecting that you guys were going to rebuke and condemn her. Precisely, not just going around and going around, you go around. You have to go straight to the point. You say, you, President of Tanzania, on October 29th, 2025, there was a genocide in your country. And here we are talking about democracy. There have been forced disappearances, incidents taking place in your country for many, many years. And you guys are not doing anything. You guys are oppressing the opposition leaders. And you are oppressing your own citizens. And there is massive proof. So many organizations, especially the human rights organization, have been accusing Tanzania for being an oppressive government. And this is the same party. That is what we are talking about. So there is massive evidence to indicate and to prove that this government is so oppressive. And here we are talking about democracy. And here we are talking about inspiring and empowering the next generation of government. And you are seated with a criminal. You are seated with a criminal among you. How can this make sense? If you yourselves are not criminals, you believe in such ideas, in this kind of ideology of oppressing the opposition, and the citizens should never ever criticize. As you know, people in Tanzania, they do not have rights to question the government. How they are signing contracts with international investors who come into our country. When they come and they are taking the natural resources of the country, which belong to all of us, the Tanganyika people, all the Tanzanians. The government, anyone who criticizes, anyone who question about the process the government is using to sign a contract, for example, the ports of Dar es Salaam, or the ports of Bagamoyo, Twala, and so on. Anyone who questions about those type of contracts and the negative impact they have on our society, the government always is going to kidnap the person, and they're going to torture the person, they oppress them, they threaten them. That is what is taking place, and this is real. This is the type of life that is in this country. But you guys who are still together with this criminal, and you are talking about it, because I was able to go over, in brief, I was able to go over your agenda, the 2026 agenda for the World Government's Summit in Dubai. I says you guys, your agenda focuses on shaping a better future for humanity. I don't know if this would make sense when you are sitting together with a criminal. You're saying you are focusing on shaping a better future for humanity. The guy, this lady just committed genocide using the army forces and all the forces in the country, because they're the one who are working with her to commit genocide. And now you are sitting together with them. You are talking about shaping a better future for humanity. What are you talking about? What is humanity? This is a better future for humanity. When you are mass killing these people, how can you shape a better future for the people that you have already murdered? How is that possible? And then you had the 5 main themes. And one of them say, the first one I saw, it says, the theme you had, it says, it was about global governance and effective leadership. You are talking whereby you were talking, there is things such as transparency, accountability, visionary, and the resilience for the government or leadership. But in Tanganyika, or in Tanzania in general, there is no transparency. The government, you know for sure, you guys are sitting with these criminals. They are just around the table there. And you're just using words. That's why we see. That is why we always oppose this kind of events that assume that you bring the best leaders or the best knowing people have great knowledge and who are more wise together so that you can shape the future of humanity. But we don't see those things. You can never be doing those things when you are sitting with the criminals. It doesn't make sense. It contradicts 100% whatever you are trying to discuss or you are trying to achieve in this regard, as you can see, because she just committed a genocide of Tanganyika people. We are talking about more than 10,000 people were killed, and the international community were prohibited to come and to investigate how many were killed and the damage that took place. And now you are talking about transparency. You are talking about accountability. How is that possible? And also your second agenda is shown there. I mean, your second theme on the agenda said societal or social well-being and the capacity building. You are addressing things such as well-being and the capacity, well-being and education, investing in human potential. I don't know. When I went through these themes, to me, none of them would make a sense because for us, the people of Tanganyika, none of the themes or none of the topic on your agenda ever made sense because you are sitting together with an illegitimate illegitimate, undemocratic elected president who just nominated herself to be the president, winning by 98. So in this kind of situation, you are trying to show that you also support and you are also promoting this kind of behavior. When you are talking about inspiring and empowering next generation of government, to me it sounds like this is the type of government you're promoting or you're trying to inspire and to empower. Because if you have a criminal there and it's fine, no one ever condemns them, and those people should never, in the first place, they should never ever have been invited at the table. No at all. But here she comes. She's given an opportunity to advertise her criminal activity, saying, oh, we have done this. Oh, now things, the laws are very clear and simple, and now we're more trustworthy, and we're more transparent. Our laws now have been changed in this way and that way. How is that true? It's just a force you guys are promoting. This is why I say you guys are promoting. You guys are inspiring next generation of government, of this type of leaders who commit genocide, and they can still attend. They can still attend World Governments Summit, like the one that took place not too long ago in Dubai. In Dubai. So we are really saddened by this kind of situation, while we see that world leaders can come together with a criminal, someone or another leader who just committed genocide, and they just keep quiet. And here they are talking about economic prosperity and emerging opportunity. You are talking about AI, whatever, and all these kinds of things, financial systems, investment frameworks, regulatory environments, and all these kind of things. It doesn't make sense. You guys should be ashamed of yourselves and your behavior and the way you operate. If you the way this organization or this community, the World Governments Summit, is made, all the laws that govern such kind of entity, or this type of group of governments, they never condemn people who do bad things in their own country, especially these things that we have seen in Tanganyika. I think this kind of organizations or entity, this type of entity, is also a criminal entity or a network that is promoting the killings of humanity. There's no way I can see, I cannot see a better future for humanity. There's no way. We, the people of Tanganyika, do not see any better future for us. All we are seeing darkness in front of us, because the entire world is silent when we are talking and we are dealing with the genocide that took place not too long ago. Our friends, our dear colleagues, and my brothers and sisters, we do not have to wait until hundred thousands of people or hundreds of thousands of people are being killed to identify and to name such act as a genocide. I guarantee you, even 10 people to me, even one person, is like you are heading towards genocide. Because these people were protesting, they were exercising their constitutional rights. They were exercising their constitutional rights to protest because the government was not listening. They were kidnapping, forced disappearances. They have no rights to question the government. They have no question. They have no rights to demonstrate. And here this guy comes there and the guy says, oh yes, you are one of us. You are a good example. Because we want to see people who attend this kind of events. The World Government's Summit. It should be those who are good example to all of us, all of humanity. Where we can say, yes, look at the government, that government. But here now we are talking about you come to invest in our country again. What a shame. What a shame. You should be ashamed of yourselves. Because you are saying that you are aiming to foster international cooperation and identify innovative solutions for future challenges. You are talking about future challenges. You are talking about innovation or innovative solutions. You are talking about international cooperation. When this lady just refused for international people to come in and to investigate why there was a genocide in Tanganyika. We are very, very embarrassed. I mean, ashamed of you. You should be embarrassed of yourselves. We are not embarrassed, but we are feeling so bad. We are feeling disappointed, and you have let us down. You were supposed to stand up with us and the question, because you know, as you know, we are talking about millions and millions of Tanganyika people. They cannot speak for themselves because they are facing on a daily basis imminent threat of being kidnapped, being tortured, and being abused, and being murdered and or killed, if you like. That is why they have decided to stay silent and to keep quiet. It's not because there is a peace in Tanzania. In Tanzania, there is no peace. All that is happening is this. The people of Tanganyika and Tanzania in general, they are just swallowing the pain of being tortured, being abused. So they are carrying pain inside them. They are suffering. They are being abused. And they have been told to keep silent and to keep quiet, not to open their mouths. That is exactly what is happening. So when we are hearing people from all over the world, they are talking about Tanzania being a country that has preserved peace, we say, you don't know what we are going through. You don't know what kind of abuse. You don't know what kind of torture that people are going through. You don't know what type of silent murder on the killings that are taking place in our country. So no one ever speaks. That is why the president of the main opposition party is in prison, are charged for treason, and there's no grounds for this case, but he's just seated there, and no one ever says anything. And you guys are talking about democracy, and you're still there with the criminal. This lady, you never question her about why are you holding this guy in prison? This is not a nice place to stay. And you think it's fine, and all is well. You are trying to inspire and to empower next generation of government. That is not possible. It cannot be possible. So we want to send also a very clear message to those of you who think or who have listened and you have heard illegitimate President Samia Suluhu Hassan trying to advertise the country, how they have improved different things and in different areas. The type of improvements they have done that now is so attractive to come and invest in this country. We, the people of Tanganyika, we want to send a very clear message that anyone who come to invest in this country, especially at this time, or at this point in time, we are going to consider you as a criminal. That is what it is. So we are speaking out, we are speaking up because, or we are speaking and we are fighting against the government because we know they are criminals. There's a massive corruption that is really embedded into the system party. That is why there is nothing, there's no improvement. There's no development in this country. There is no infrastructure improvement or development whatsoever. It's just a tiny bit here and there, which doesn't make sense. So if you come at any time in this country, we're going to treat you as a criminal. We are going to assign you a status of a criminal, a network of a criminal. You are working together with a criminal that is CCM party, with all the leaders of CCM. You have to come and you are aware of this one. So that means at any point we don't know what is going to happen because we have decided that we need our country back because the evil that we are going through, we are experiencing every day is unbearable. It is far beyond what we can tolerate. So at the time to stay and to be quiet and to be silent is over. So please, we do not need anyone to bring any kind of investment. And we are warning the United Arab Emirates to stop investing into the criminal network, the CCM. That is a criminal network. Otherwise, we're going to treat them as a criminal. I know that there were so many attendees for this World Government Summit 2026 in Dubai. It says there were more than 60,000 attendees, more than 200 interactive sessions, more than 400 speakers, more than 15 reports. And I wonder, among these reports, did you guys have the report about the situation that just the situation about what just happened in Tanzania or in Tanganyika not too long ago? What I am trying to explain now at this point, that there was a massive killing, a genocide that took place in Tanganyika. Did anyone report about this one? I don't know. I don't think so. No one ever, because you guys are hypocrites. You are just selfish. You are only thinking about your own stomachs and to just fill your own bellies. That is what you are thinking. That is what you are looking for. And you are not even anywhere to accomplish and to promote the things you had on your agenda. It's not possible because you are still with the criminals. Please, we say you should be ashamed of you, and we say shame, shame, shame on you all. You all are the governments, the international organizations, the thought leaders, and the private sector leaders who are present during the World Government Summit 2026 in Dubai. You have disappointed us very, very badly. And we cannot tolerate anybody who tries to come. You are being deceived by this woman who committed a genocide. That it is safe to invest in Tanganyika. It is not safe. If you come, you are a criminal network. That is the name we give you. Almost the same name we would like to give all the leaders who were present during the World Government Summit, because you were talking about democracy and all that. It didn't make sense at all. It was garbage. It was just a joke. It's just I don't know. I cannot even find a word to describe such kind of events where you are sitting with a criminal and they say you are talking about democracy. Now democracy seems like a shame. We do not fully understand the concept of democracy. We should never be inviting criminals, people who are against the values of democracy, and you invite them. How is that possible? People who are torturing the citizens, who are murdering, who are kidnapping, who are raping, they were there. This is the Samia Suluhu Hassan we're talking about. Illegitimate and democratic elected president who was among you. You leaders who are there. You should be ashamed of you. And I see a bunch of them, more than 60,000 attendees. So there were all people from all over the world. And yet no one ever stood up for us, the Tanzanians, all the people of Tanganyika. Though we have gone through tough time, we have experienced massive killing, which we describe as a genocide committed by Samia Suluhu Hassan. So, you gentlemen, men and women, all of you who are present, you should be ashamed of yourselves from now on. And we do not need any one of you to step into our country to invest in any area. Thank you very much, and I hope this message will find you there. And I hope we will get more to share the message and to stand up for the people of Tanganyika who are crying out, who have become like orphans, and no one is really hearing them. But we know we will never keep quiet, we will never be silenced when we see this kind of evil taking place in our country. We know we own this land, this is our own land, and we shall never tolerate anybody who come working with a criminal, a network of criminal in our country. Thank you very much, my friends, and we will always bring more message about this kind of situations and what is unfolding in Tanganyika. So stay tuned. Thank you very much, and see you next time.